Hello everyone again and welcome to Tara. And this is a follow-up programme from our last one about wild herbs and plants that grow around us here and which serve as medicinal sources for us. And we have with us again Kieran Murray here. And I'm going to back over a few things he said last week because last week was very busy here. It's bank holiday, a lot of wind and a lot of noise, and some things got lost in the transaction. So Kieran, last week the first thing you mentioned was the wild garlic. And what does that look like here? The wild garlic is for energy and it's for allergies and for asthma. And you made the point that if you use this, you don't need the inhaler as much if you use the wild garlic. That's what the wild garlic looks like, isn't it?
That's
yes.
what the wild garlic looks like. And
okay.
I take that every morning. You don't need, sometimes you need the inhaler if the pollen is very high, but normally if you take it every morning, you don't need the inhaler.
Okay.
Not as much.
And then we spoke about the nettles, the ordinary nettle. And you can make tea and boil that, and that's good for rheumatism, arthritis, and for your blood, the iron for your blood. Is that the nettle? Yes. Is that the stingy nettle? And you said beside the nettle, the dock leaf grows, which is a cure if you get stung by it. That's very handy, what Mother Nature did there to put the cure beside the sting.
This is the dock leaf.
That's the dock leaf. That's the dock leaf, right?
So,
and that cures if you get stung by the nettle. And the nettle is good for rheumatism, for arthritis, and for your blood because there's iron in it. And you can make tea out of it, and that might boil it up. Yeah. And then you spoke about the cleaver. Have you got cleaver here, Kiri? Which is good for arthritis, and for fever, and for jaundice. And that's the one for dandruff as well. That's what it looks like. That's the cleaver.
That's the cleaver.
Okay.
That just goes right up here.
Right, okay. Then, Kiri, you spoke about mushrooms. But there's a problem with mushrooms. Some mushrooms are poisonous, and you've got to be very aware when you go out to pick mushrooms, haven't you? They're not all.
You have to be very aware because
of all of these.
You have to know your mushrooms, but the particular mushroom that grows on Tara in September and October, it contains psilocybin, and it's actually rated as a drug, but a drug taken in moderation is a cure.
Okay.
And the mushrooms, psilocybin is very good for anything to do with your brain. It's very good for tinnitus. If you have tinnitus and you chew up one or two mushrooms, just chew them up, don't swallow them, and absorb the juice under your tongue within 10-20 minutes.
Right.
It completely cures you. I find this a cure.
Okay. Then you spoke about rosemary. Have we got rosemary here?
We haven't got rosemary.
That's for the heart and the liver,
and
for the circulation, and it's also protective, a protection plant. That's what you plant at your gate.
Yes.
Like sage for protection. We spoke about that last week.
And protecting from bad dreams if you put it on your pillow.
Then the daisy. You boil the daisy in hot water and you drink the water. You don't eat the daisy, you drink the water from it. And that's very good for the arteries. That's the daisy. We all know the daisy, yeah?
The daisy.
And then the hawthorn. The berries are very good for the heart. Can you eat those berries? Or you boil them?
You can eat them just there's a stone in the centre, but you can make a pulp out of the rest of it and eat, or just chew them the way they are.
Right, okay.
They're very good for your heart.
Then we spoke about lavender, which is good for the headaches. Have we got lavender here?
I haven't got lavender.
Okay. Honeysuckle, we have honeysuckle there, haven't we?
We have honeysuckle.
Have we honeysuckle?
It's not out in flower yet.
Honeysuckle, you boil the petals, and it's quite bitter, so you can add sugar or honey to that. Very good for the heart and the liver. We know honeysuckle isn't out yet, sure it's not.
It's not, no, I've got it, but it's not in blossom.
Then parsley. Parsley is very good for the breath and for sciatica and for jaundice, and it's known to prevent cancer. And then strawberries. Iron in strawberries. You can eat the leaves. They're good for anemia and good for the nervous system. And meadowsweet. Have we got meadowsweet here?
Meadowsweet not in blossom now for another month.
Not in better, right. That's very good for blood pressure and for stomach problems. Red clover. Have we got red clover?
We have some red clover. It's not.
That's good for headaches. It's not out yet, is it not?
No, okay. It'll be shortly.
Then we have the rose hips. You boil them, and again you can add sugar and honey to that. What are the rose hips good for?
The rose hips are very good for vitamin A.
Vitamin A.
If you can make it, you can boil them up, maybe a little bit of sugar or honey, and store them, and you could take it over the winter for if it keeps up your supply of vitamin A.
St. John's wort. That's very good for the nervous system. Do we have St. John's wort here?
No, we haven't got here, and it's actually you're not even allowed. You can get it, I think, in tablet form.
You can get it in the health store, yeah.
It's classified
Right.
as a
Okay, you mentioned too about the roots of the nettle, Kiri, that if you roast and grind them, they can dissolve kidney stones.
the roots of the nettle. You make
Yeah,
it,
kidney
you
stones,
grind
yeah.
them up and make tea and dissolve
Yeah,
kidney
okay.
stones, yeah.
The nasturtium, we've got the nasturtium here, haven't we?
Nasturtium.
And you can eat that,
Um,
the flower and the leaves. And what does the
Here.
nasturtium do for us, Kiri?
This is nasturtium. Nasturtium is just, you can use it in salads.
You
And
can actually eat that.
It's an internal cleanser and it's also an antiseptic.
Okay, okay,
And it's just a spicy. But it's,
okay. And then the plantain, you said was good for bronchitis, to boil that, the plantain. What does it look like?
Um,
Have you got any plantain
I have
here?
Some, I have we have some here somewhere. Here we are. This is
That's
plantain.
what, oh, that's what it looks like, right, okay. Then you mentioned the red poppy, which doesn't come out until October, November. And you crush up the leaves of that with olive oil. That reduces swelling and pain.
And
And it's good for sore throat and hay fever. And then you spoke about the wild raspberry, which is good for menstrual cramps. Primrose, you said making tea, rheumatism and arthritis, good for that.
Right.
And that was what we did last week. I know you have a few more. I know, Christine, you've got a few there as well. Now, the first thing is, we know these are all used in herbs for cooking, and we know they're all used in making soap and making perfume, but we're not so much aware of how they are medicine for us. And why is this all being kept from us? Well, it hasn't been hidden, no. We just haven't been encouraged to go and look for it, because there are too many people making too much money out of us going and getting a pill and getting a tablet. Never got to go and get another pill and tablet to counteract the effects of the first one we took. Whereas here, all this natural stuff is all around us. Right, what more have you got for us? And Christine, you've got a few over there too that you have, that you're aware of, the dandelion.
The dandelion and the benefits of it for removing toxins from the body. It's highly nutritious, boosts the immune system. It may also help to control the blood sugar.
Okay.
Promotes liver function, and yeah, supports healthy digestion, bile secretion, and dandelion acts as a diuretic, increasing the amount of urine your body makes.
And you can put that on your salad and eat it, can't you,
You
Christine?
can
That's
eat the
edible.
flower head as raw in your salad,
And
then
you can boil
also
and make
boil
tea.
it up. And there's roots in the leaves, as you would know as well, Kiri.
That's right, yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of
You
benefits.
you
of
dry up the roots and you can make them into powder and you can make coffee out.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, it's even better.
Right. And you can also get dandelion tablets. It's good in tablet forms in the health stores.
Yes.
And the dandelion tea, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, dandelion. Now
So
be
it's
careful when you pick
magical.
the dandelions or pick these wild herbs, because if you're picking them in an area that has been sprayed with some chemical, then they're poisonous. You can't eat them. But if you're out in where, an area where there's been no chemicals used, then, and again, be careful. You do really need to do your research and get books on it, and do your own investigation and see what you can find, because if they're sprayed in any way, then
Weed
they're not good for
killer
weed
or
killer.
anything
They're
from-
not. You cannot eat them.
In housing estates or in
Or in
public
meadows.
parks or where else?
They could be sprayed with MCPA or DNVP,
Yep.
agricultural sprays. You're better off to get them in a wild area.
Wild
Yes,
area.
in a wild. These are wild herbs and plants.
This is your honeysuckle.
Oh, this is honeysuckle. We found the honeysuckle, right?
Hasn't come out in blossom yet. It will be shortly.
Right, and that's what it looked. Well, there's about to pop out. There's a wee bud at the top of that, isn't there?
Yeah, it's almost. there
Honeysuckle
shortly.
is good for what's it good for? The heart and the liver. And you boil the petals, these thing here, and add some. Must be bitter then. Add some sugar or honey to it,
And it's good
and
for
that's
liver.
very good for the heart and the liver. That's what the honeysuckle looks like. There you go. There's the honeysuckle. That's quite easily got, isn't it?
That's just gold locally.
Yep. Okay.
And we also have the herb Robert as well. And it's
Herb Robert.
herb Robert.
Okay.
And it's a tiny wee purple flower.
Oh yes, I've seen that.
Very
Yes,
pretty.
yeah.
And it's very good for oxidizing the blood. Is that
Yeah,
right, Kiri?
it oxidizes your blood.
Yeah, and it's good also if with gums that are bleeding, and can also support the digestive system as well.
That's a very common one. It's one of the most common of wildflowers. That, but I just never knew what it was. I just a lovely flower. So it's what Herb Robert.
Herb Robert.
Yeah.
Right.
That just grows down at the well.
Right. Okay. What's this here, Kiri?
That's the hawthorn.
That's the hawthorn.
The hawthorn that hasn't got before comes the berries.
Right,
Oh,
okay.
that's beautiful.
And what does the hawthorn do first? That's for the heart.
Good for the
The
heart.
heart, right. Okay. What else have we got, Kiri?
There's also the, I know you haven't got it out here, but there's the elder as well. It's did you know?
Elderberry elder.
Yeah,
Yes.
because even the tree itself is actually known as the queen of the forest. They say
Yeah.
every
Is that
part
elder?
of the tree. Oh,
There's the
wonderful.
elder. There's elder.
It's just growing here at the gate.
Every
And what
part
does
of the
elder
tree.
do first, Christine?
Well, there's many benefits for it. You can make lovely with the berries itself. You can make that into a tincture, into it's like it would be medicinal, full of nutrients and vitamins, very good for the immune system. But you can even use the bark. This is why it's known as the queen of the forest. Every part of the tree is used for medicinal purposes.
Right.
And
Every
it's
part.
just
Right.
magical, as you could say.
Oops,
There
there is
you know.
somebody to say. Have we any more?
And the elderberries also. You
Oh,
can,
the elderberries.
You can cook up the elderberries and maybe with honey or sugar, and they're very good. They're very good for.
So it must be quite bitter then if you need the honey
They're
or
very
sugar.
good tonic over the winter, also for vitamin A.
Okay, vitamin A. Right. Okay. And have you anything else? Anything new today that we didn't speak about last day?
Did we talk about the oak?
The oak.
The oak leaves boiled to make tea.
Oh, the oak, the old oak tree.
Yeah. You,
Tie yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. That old oak tree,
An
yeah?
old oak tree.
Okay, Kerry, what's
Oak-
that going to do
oak leaves
first?
boiled to make a tea, and it cures damaged tissue in the stomach or the intestines. And it also
Right.
helps your blood to clot.
Oh, right, okay, okay.
So
There's another one.
There's
yeah.
I see marigold there.
yeah, marigold.
Have we got a marigold here?
I don't have them. Well, they'll be
When
out
do
now.
they come out, Kerry?
They'll be out about now. From
Right.
now on.
And what does marigold do first? What
Um,
benefit is it?
They're for open sores and also for catarrh and also for varicose veins, and they're good for circulation. And you can eat them raw.
Okay.
It's calendula, that's the type of marigold. There's French marigolds, but there's calendula. It's just a little different from the French marigolds.
Okay. And I see you've got comfrey there. Tell us about the comfrey. Have we got comfrey
The-
here?
Comfrey, here we are. That's it.
No, you know the difference in all these, Kerry.
Yeah, the
I'm
comfrey.
confused.
You dry out the
Comfrey.
comfrey and you can smoke it like
Oh,
tobacco.
that's the one you smoke. You don't
Yeah,
eat
yeah.
that now.
You don't eat that,
You're
no,
Right.
that
Okay.
wouldn't
And
be
what's
good.
it do for you?
It's really good. It's really good for clearing out your lungs. It counteracts the effects of tobacco.
Okay.
uh,
And you say a cold
and-
poultice there.
Yeah. No, that's good. No, cold's what I'm talking about here. No, comfrey.
That's the comfrey here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
that's
cold's what I'm talking about here. Comfrey is.
Oh, sorry. I thought we
I
were
have-
talking about comfrey there.
No, sorry, I had comfrey here. With the blossom on it. This is comfrey. Yeah.
Oh, that's comfrey.
Yeah.
And when does that come? Oh, that's out now.
That's out now. That's
and the
growing.
comfrey repairs
so
broken
yeah,
bones
yeah,
there,
that's
does
right.
it?
The comfrey, it repairs broken bones. They use it in the poultice. It's very well known.
Poultice, right,
for-
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then the colt's food. Move on to that. Colt's food. Move on to the colt's food. We
Colt-
got the
the
colt's
colt's foot.
food. That's the colt's
It's
food
like
now.
the shape of a goat's foot.
Right,
So that's one,
okay, yeah, there you go, the shape of a colt's foot, right, you can see that. What does it do for us?
So that's the one you smoke.
Well, that's the one you smoke. You don't eat this,
No,
you smoke this.
You dry it out.
And what does it do for you?
It clears your lungs.
Clears your lungs, of course, smoking, yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
What else have we got? Christine, anything else over there? Well, honey itself, the ordinary honey cure is very, very good as well, because honey cures all sores and
It
acts
does.
as a binder, doesn't it?
And you can
It's,
put it on open cuts. It keeps
you
it-
can, and
keeps
it's
it-
ulcers, external ulcers.
Antibacterial.
Yes, antibacterial, yeah, honey. The bees, of course.
There's a magnitude of different.
Yeah.
Oh, you
That's
were
so-
asking me. The horsetail is the one that cures diarrhea.
Oh, the horsetail.
Horsetail, it doesn't grow out yet.
Have you got a horsetail here?
It won't be out for another month or two, but when it grows, it's like a little section you can pull it asunder, grows.
Okay, and that's good for diarrhea.
That's the one that's good for
And do
diarrhea.
you eat that or do you boil it or?
You can make a tonic out of it. You can boil it up and make a tonic out of it.
Right,
You take
okay.
tonic. And
Okay,
it's good for the liver and
Right.
kidneys as well.
okay. I see you've got hazelnuts there, hazel?
Hazelnuts they prevent hardening of the arteries, and they also improve the heart and good for your heart.
Improve the heart, right, okay. Christine, any more over there that we haven't looked at yet that we have
Did I
here?
mention strawberry leaves? You make a tea.
We mentioned strawberry, yes,
Yeah,
we mentioned
it
strawberry.
cures anemia,
Yeah.
and it puts iron in your blood.
Okay,
And,
and
strawberry, the berries fortify your
yes,
nerves.
it's good for the nervous system, yeah. We've wild rose there.
The wild,
Christine's
the wild
pointed out.
rose, you use the.
They're not out yet, so they're not the
they're not
wild
out yet,
rose, no, they're
but
not
you
out
can
yet.
use the same as you can use the rose hips. They're,
The rose hips, yeah.
The rose when the rose hips off the wild rose, and you can boil them up and you can make you make a tonic that's really good in vitamin C. It's really
You
good.
know what's
for the winter.
striking me here, Kerry, that we really have built up a very artificial world around ourselves, haven't we?
We
You
have.
know, our artificial food, the artificial light, the artificial way in which we live, right? That's what's creating all our illnesses. And we're going to certain places to get pill form for these when they're all around us here. Like Mother Nature has provided us with everything
just-
we need.
Highlights how much
Yes.
nature is the healer.
Yes.
And even just connecting with it, even being barefoot in the grass. Has
You see,
just
nobody
so much
connects. Even the
grounding.
farmers don't put their fingers in the soil anymore. It's all machines and nobody actually connects. We're the only animal that does not walk barefoot, you know? And we think that connecting with nature is going for a walk. It's
Yeah,
not
you're better
really. You know, that's just a temporary thing.
Better
when you
sitting under a
walk
tree
barefoot.
with your
Yes,
shoes off.
yes.
You're ground when you walk with your bare feet. You're grounded.
You're
Yeah.
grounded,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. But even sitting with your back to a tree, you can feel the energy coming through. The tree is speaking to you. You know, there's so many things that we could be doing to increase our contact with nature. And if we increase our contact with nature, we are healing ourselves. It's our lack of contact with nature and the natural world that is bringing about all the illnesses we have in this world we live in,
Yeah.
which we've manufactured ourselves.
Lack of fresh air.
Yep.
And even just connecting your senses to nature.
Yes.
Listening to the birds, smells.
The artificial
smelling of the
sounds we've
flowers.
created, the artificial, everything's artificial that we've created.
And it's this instant now, by the touch of a button. So
Yep.
yeah, it's about coming back to yourself, come back to oneself, come back to the heart. And that's what you can do when you're in nature.
When you're in nature, yeah.
And it's just switching off from external, the phone, the laptop, the TV, and just
That's what the problem
quieting
is.
the
Those
mind.
machines we have that we think keep us up to date, they're the ones that are separating us
Yeah,
from nature.
yeah.
Well, thank you very much for that, Kerry and Christine. I hope that's a wee bit more clear today than it was last day, because the last day was bank holiday. A lot of people around, a lot of noise around, and a lot of wind. So, thank you for watching, and we shall meet again soon.